psychic medium, intuitive counselor, energy worker, and mom to two beautiful kids. I am here to help people heal and to create the life that they were truly meant to have, as well as to connect them to their guides, angels, and loved ones on the other side, and also reassure us all that life goes on after we die. Very first video. Thank you for joining me. Welcome. And if you happen to have found me, you're likely intuitive yourself, as other psychics are often drawn to this work. I'm a social worker also by trade, and so I'm just really excited to be here, and I will be using a variety of oracle cards to give weekly readings and partner with some other friends of mine. I have had a lot of support to get to this point, and I'm really grateful and am excited to give back. If you like this video, please like and subscribe to my channel, and stay tuned. Thanks so much for watching. Hello and welcome. Today is October 31st of 2022. This is Psychic Readings by Sarah, and I'm here to share with you your weekly oracle message. It's a really interesting day because it's Halloween here in Canada, and which makes me think of the masks that we wear, and the card that I have to share with you today kind of taps into that a little bit. So today is reduced to a single date, is a day 2. And so I'd like anyone watching this video to spend a little bit of time thinking about how the month of February resonates with you in terms of a loved one or yourself, a birthday, a person that's connected to that month, a person who passed that might be connected to that month, but also the second day of any month. So a relationship with someone else, past or alive, whose birth date of passing, anniversary date happens to be connected to that number 2 day on any day of any month of the year. So number 2 is the number you really want to pay attention today as I talk. The card we have is called the Root Girl. It's number 46. It's a very I would say big card. It's a deep card, and like I was saying with the masks, it is Halloween here, and this card is talking a lot about who we are at our core, but not just the good things. It's also speaking to the parts of ourselves that hold shame and guilt and feelings of being unloved and unwanted. It's where our flaws lie. It's the hidden parts of ourselves that we try to sometimes disengage from, or cut ourselves off from, or maybe avoid looking at or admitting to. It is the things we try to cover up within ourselves and sort of disassociate from, as though they're not a part of us. It also speaks to the initial wound that we often get as children, so it's the inner child. And so with Halloween and masks, what I think of is how we often put on a mask to the world of who we are, and people take us at that first impression, and a lot of times they don't know what's behind the mask, and sometimes neither do we. And sometimes there's really good things that we keep hidden from the world out of a sense of maybe self-preservation, but sometimes and often we also hide all of our deep dark secrets, our dirty laundry. And so the idea of wearing a mask on Halloween to become someone else is very close to heart with this card of what we often do in life. We put on a mask for the world, a good mask or a bad mask, either way. And people don't really know, and often we are not connected to all the different parts of ourselves and how they're all a part of us. All of our good qualities, all of our bad qualities, even the mask we wear is a part of who we are. We can't separate ourselves from the mask we project to the world. That's part of us as well. Our mask, our personality, and our inner core self are all part of the same person and need to be integrated, or we need to work with them as though they're all a part of us, or else we will feel sort of splintered and uncentered, and we won't live an authentic life the way that we would like. So I wrote a few things down in case I forgot. Yeah, so this is the disowned self, really, we're talking about right now. The Root Girl is about making peace with, and it could be a boy, it's not need to be a girl, but making peace with that part of ourselves that we've disowned, the world has disowned, that part of ourselves that is homeless, that we've thrown away, that the world has thrown away. Because in that, embracing that, we find hidden beauty. Because we get to the core of the wound that caused that inner self to curl up and retreat from the world to begin with, and we can bring her to life. And when we heal her or him, we find that our world transforms and miracles start to happen and good energy starts to flow in. Shun is another word that would be used for this card, parts of ourself that we've shunned. So when you think of that number 2, you can think of people that you know in relation to that number 2. If it's yourself, that's okay too. That maybe you have some compassion or understanding for that they may have done that. And spend some time sending them some love and compassion today to those people that are connected to the 2 for you, because they really need that healing as much as those listening do. And your relationship with that person might really need that healing as well. So when we reintegrate these different parts of ourselves, these aspects of ourselves that we tend to deny or even part of ourselves or admit to ourselves are a part of ourselves, like I'm not flawed. I don't want to admit that I carry guilt and shame, that I've done things that I'm not proud of, that I've, been deceitful or lied or not been genuine with myself or with others. And so the tendency is to sort of shun that part of ourselves. The idea here with the Root Girl card is to reintegrate these things so that you can return to a state of wholeness and purpose in your life. The problem is the solution. So where the problem lies is where the solution begins. So if the problem lies in holding on to shame and guilt or deceit or dishonesty or not being true to yourself or others, then the solution is in addressing and dealing and facing those uncomfortable emotions and those uncomfortable feelings and facing them with other people, with the people you've been dishonest with or that you hold the shame or guilt towards. The energy between you and that other person. When you deal with it, it has to also be an outward act. So you might think of the number 2 person that I mentioned before, or the month of February, and think that maybe you need to resolve some areas in that relationship with that person where you or they hold onto some of these unwanted and uncomfortable aspects and feelings and emotions. And it's always important to remember that these negative emotions are a part of us and we all have them. How we cope with them and deal with them and displace ourselves from them may be different, but we all carry negative emotions and we all carry wounds from childhood. So we're not alone, and we must embrace all of ourselves to feel complete and whole. Our flaws and imperfections, there's beauty in them, in embracing them, and the ugly qualities we have, the envy we have, the jealousy we carry, the emotions that we aren't comfortable with are actually great teachers. And so if you can sit with them and realize that those emotions are really guiding you to your own unmet needs, your own inner child's unmet needs. And if you think of yourself as being a little child who has unmet needs, and then see how those unmet needs play out in how you behave and act as an adult, you might have more compassion for yourself by seeing that you're really acting out on hurt from a very long time ago that is being carried by that inner child within you. And if you picture that inner child, a small child we want to give hugs to and embrace and love. And so even if they've done something wrong, we say to ourselves, they're just a child. They're not intentionally trying to hurt anyone. And we forgive a lot more easily than we do with grown adults and than we do with our adult selves. So if you think of yourself and those unmet needs as being a little child within yourself, it might help to heal it a bit by thinking of the love and compassion that you would actually literally give to a child. Except for in this case, you're giving it to the child within to help it heal so you can grow as a human being and as an adult. So yes, when we do this, it can cause transformation and it illuminates the darkness. And when we welcome that inner child home, we find peace and we can become everything that we're meant to become. And also, it's not always a wound from our own childhood. Sometimes we're carrying ancestral wounds and ancestral karma that is from previous lifetimes and previous family members. So we're carrying junk that's not even ours. So if we can embrace and heal those aspects, then we can return to a state of balance within our bodies, within our minds, within our hearts, and within our souls. And then we can receive all the love and light that's out there in the world for us to have and that we deserve, and we can really feel that we deserve it, and then we can allow it in and be it. Hey, just a quick tip to add to my message from earlier. When it comes to trying to figure out who your card relates to, you can also reduce people's birth date to a single digit to see what number you get. So the card today that we had was the Root Girl, and I asked you to think about people related to the number 2, since today's date reduces to a 2. And, you know, people that you may have relationships with that you need to correct things with and come clean with, to figure out who those people might be and whether they might also be yourself that you need to do this with. You can look at the month of February, look at the second day of any month, or you can reduce yours or others' birth dates to a single digit. So, for example, my birth date, January 9th, 1981, reduced to a single digit is a 2, which tells me that both myself, me, Sarah, has to work on my own authenticity in the world, bringing into alignment all the different layers and aspects of myself, including that inner child and the masks that I wear on the outside, but also that there may be people in relationship to me who have areas in which they need to work through those same issues that they have in themselves via relationship with me, to have more honest and authentic relationships, so that we can better enjoy our time together and enjoy the being here on this earth. So I hope you have a great Halloween. If you're going out trick-or-treating like I am with my kids in just an hour or two, I hope you have a wonderful time. I'm going to be putting on my mask, and I'm going to be paying attention to how my mask that I wear on an everyday basis has its flaws and has its lessons, as well as the parts of myself that I hide from myself, hide from the world, that need to come out and be shared and shine and be healed and be loved as well, so that all parts of the self are welcome at the table. Have a great day. We'll see you next week.